Hey everybody, welcome to LMP TV. I'm Raven. Today I want to talk a little bit about cross-training your employees. So sometimes business owners have some hesitation about cross-training employees, and that's something that should be forgotten, okay? It is really, really important to cross-train your employees and have your employees and management teams help cross-train the other employees. So a lot of times that people have some kind of skeptical feeling about cross-training, it's because they don't want the competition with themselves. So this is very ego-based, but it happens. And it's where the owner or manager, whoever would be doing the training, thinks that if they train somebody to do their job or to have too many roles or too much responsibility, that now that person is competition for them and could potentially make them lose their job. And that's really bad. And it's not the right way to do things, because the reality of it is, if you cross-train an employee, so say you're the owner of the company and you're scared that this person is going to learn too much and then just be, too much competition for you and maybe would want to take your job or create their own business or something like that. Well, in reality, if you take the time to train somebody, that person is actually going to be more loyal to you because you spent the time with them and they care about you and they care about your business. Another reason that people are sometimes skeptical about cross-training employees is the time and money that it takes to spend doing that. So if one person is really good at one job and you take the time to train them to do another piece of your business, another job in the business, it takes some time. It takes some time of them learning, and it takes some money because obviously you're still paying them, but they're doing something at a slower speed. And so it just takes a little bit more money. But in reality, this is an investment. So just like you invested in your business to make it grow, or you invested time in your job to get good at it, it's an investment in those people to show them how to do another job. And then they're much more valuable to you because they can do multiple things. And if you only have one person in your company who can do one thing, you are not setting yourself up for success, because what happens when that person is sick and they're gone? Or what happens if, I'm sorry to say this and, be the bearer of bad news, but sometimes people die. And what do you do? What do you do if that person is gone and they were the only one who could do the job really well? Well, now you have to start from scratch versus having some help from somebody who is cross-trained. So another reason that people don't cross-train sometimes is that they are distrustful. They don't trust that the person can do it well or can learn it, or they just don't want them to have that responsibility in the company. And again, this is bad because now you're creating apathy within your employees. If they can tell that you don't trust them or you don't care about teaching them more things, they don't care about your business anymore, or they are losing care for your business because they don't feel cared about themselves. If you care about your people as individuals and you can learn to trust them, then they will help you and they will trust you in return. And sometimes we go through times where we have trusted the wrong person and it has turned out poorly. I understand that. I understand the hesitation. However, each person is an individual. Each person that you hire is someone that you vetted, hopefully. If not, your interview process needs some work. Call me. But each person is different, and you can't take the trust that you lost from one person and then hold that against another person that you've hired. So trust your employees, train them to do multiple things, and then you have a ton of people who can all do a little bit of everything, and maybe they still have their one main role, which is great. You need to have a job to do and you don't want to overwhelm people, but if they have a little bit of insight on the other people's roles in the company, then they can step in and help when somebody's overwhelmed or sick, or there's just a bigger need in the company for that one role at that time, because that happens. So cross-training employees is really, really important. It makes more valuable team members because they can do more things. It gives you a succession plan. So if somebody puts in their 2 weeks notice and they're leaving, now you have a little bit of a buffer because you've got some help until you hire the right person for that job. And then it also increases teamwork. So if I do one job and that's all I do every day, sometimes I might lose that creative vision that I have in that job. So when you bring someone else in to collaborate and be there in that role for a little bit, it helps people get some fresh ideas, and it may help the company grow better and be more creative because you've got more brain power. It's that whole two heads versus one thing. So even if they're not, changing roles to that role, just having a little bit of insight can provide them an opportunity to use their creativity in that other role and help the person who's in that job for, their main role. So increased teamwork, increased brain power, better efficiency, more valuable team members, and then you have a plan too. You have a plan if something goes wrong or, there's just more help needed. You've got better help by cross-training your employees to do multiple things. A few things to be careful with when you cross-train employees to do multiple things is that you don't overwhelm them or expect them to do more than is realistic or more than you pay them for. So just because you've cross-trained someone and they're good at multiple things and they know how to do multiple things does not mean you should expect them to do that in their daily role unless you're paying them to do so or they want to do so. So make sure that that's first and foremost is that you're treating your employees fairly. You can still train them, you just don't ask more of them than what you're paying them for. And then don't force people into things that they're not interested in, because if you do that, then people no longer want to do it. And if people don't want to do what you're asking them to do, then it's not going to be good. So use the cross-training to find what people really love in the company and what they're good at and what they can help with and what they want to help with, but don't force them into anything that they just find really, really boring. And then make sure that you give everybody equal opportunity. So if you're cross-training some people, make sure that you either cross-train everyone or have a certain level. Maybe after you're with the company a year, then we start cross-training you on these other things. Maybe there's additional pay offered if they want to take on additional responsibility, maybe do the other job a little bit, 1 day a week or something. I'm not sure. It depends on how your company works, but basically make sure that you're providing equal opportunity to all your employees. You're not just singling out certain ones and saying, oh, well, I think this guy might be good at, doing these things, so why don't we cross-train him? And then you're ignoring the other people because other people want more responsibility too, and they want opportunity to grow within the company. Last thing, make sure that your cross-training is effective. So if you are just kind of like throwing people in and saying, here, go do this job for a few days and, get some insight and then you're done with it, it may not be the most effective way. So just make sure it's effective. Make sure that it's fun and that they learn how to apply that knowledge. And then if you really want them to stay up to date with that knowledge, be consistent with it. So if you want people to learn another role in the company and you want them to take 1 day a week to go do that job, just be consistent with it, and that, and then they'll actually learn from it versus just throwing them out there for 1 day and then, that's it, they're done with it. So cross-training is really important. It makes everything run better. You have, a succession plan if somebody's out, sick. This is really important in smaller companies, when you have one person who mainly does one role and nobody else really knows how to do what they do. So a little bit of cross-training for everybody, have them know the different roles, and then it really helps you just generate creativity and teamwork and more brain power for your organization too. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about training, cross-training, or just any business questions in general, leave them below and I will make a video about it to answer your question. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.